5 seconds. That's all it takes to grab the wrong nozzle and turn a normal fill-up into a mistake that could cost you a few hundred or a few $1,000s. And the messed up part is, not every fuel mistake blows up in your face right away. Some of them do. Some of them let you drive off like everything's fine, and then hit you later when your engine starts acting up and your wallet starts crying. So what actually happens when you put the wrong fuel in your car? And how do you know if you just made a really expensive mistake? Let's break it down. Let's start with the mistake you really don't want to make, mixing up gasoline and diesel. Gasoline and diesel may both come from crude oil, but inside an engine, they behave very differently. Gasoline is lighter and needs a spark to ignite. Diesel is heavier, oilier, and works under compression. The engine squeezes it until it ignites on its own. Same goal, power, very different mechanics. So when those two get crossed, things go wrong fast. Put diesel into a gas car and the fuel won't burn the way the engine expects. It's heavier, slower to react, and harder for that spark system to use properly. You'll usually feel it pretty quickly. Rough idling, hesitation, shaking, weak acceleration, and eventually the car may just stall. It's like trying to start a fire with something that refuses to catch. You can keep trying, but the system was never built for that fuel. Now, the other way around is worse. If gasoline goes into a diesel engine, the problem can get expensive much faster. A diesel engine is built around diesel being thick and oily. That fuel helps the system run smoothly as it moves through pumps and injectors. Gasoline is thinner and drier, so when it gets pulled through a diesel system, it doesn't give those parts the same protection. The engine may still try to run, but now the wrong fuel is moving through places that depend on diesel's oily feel to keep things from wearing down. And that is where the damage can get ugly. The engine may knock, shake, lose power, or shut down. And yes, even one bad fill-up can start causing damage if you run the engine. Diesel helps keep those parts lubricated. Gasoline doesn't. So once that gasoline starts moving through the system, pumps and injectors can begin wearing down before you even realize how bad the mistake is. At that point, the car may not just need the tank drained, it may need parts replaced. And if that happens, the first few minutes matter most. If you catch the mistake while the car is still sitting at the pump, that is the best case scenario. The most important thing is simple. Do not start it. Don't press the start button. Don't try to move it just across the lot. At that moment, the wrong fuel may still be mostly sitting in the tank, and that is where you want it to stay. Call roadside assistance or a tow truck and have the tank drained properly. If you already started the engine, shut it off as soon as it is safe. Do not try to make it home, because every extra minute can push the wrong fuel deeper into the system. Then call for a tow and tell the mechanic exactly what happened. Gasoline went into a diesel tank, and whether the engine was started. That detail matters, because it tells them how far the wrong fuel may have traveled. Catch it early, and it may only need draining and cleaning. Keep running it, and parts may need to be replaced. And as serious as that mistake is, it still is not the one most drivers make. The more common one is quieter, easier to miss, and sitting right there on the same pump. That is where Octane comes in. Imagine you're on the highway, the fuel light comes on, and you pull into the nearest gas station. Small problem, they're out of 91 and 93, only 87 is left. So now you're staring at the pump thinking, can I use this just once, or am I about to hurt my engine? That question comes down to Octane. In the US, you usually see numbers like 87, 89, 91, or 93. In many other countries, the labels may look more like 91, 95, or 98 because they use a different rating system. But the basic idea is simple. The higher the number, the better the fuel resists knocking. And yes, the higher the number, the more it usually costs. Knocking happens when fuel ignites too early inside the engine. Instead of one clean, controlled burn, the fuel fires at the wrong moment. That is where you may hear a sharp pinging or rattling sound. And that sound matters. It is not just a weird noise, it is your engine telling you the burn is happening at the wrong time. If it happens once in a mild situation, your engine probably is not doomed. But if it keeps happening, That mistimed combustion can stress the engine over time. So octane is not a score for how good the gas is. It is a measure of how well that fuel stays calm under pressure. For a lot of older cars, basic commuters, and regular daily drivers, 87 is perfectly fine if the manual says 87 is fine. In that kind of car, premium usually does not change much. You might feel like you are treating the engine better, but most of the time, the car is doing the same job with more expensive fuel. It is like buying expensive running shoes to walk from the couch to the fridge. But some engines are pickier. Turbocharged engines, supercharged engines, sports cars, luxury cars, and high compression engines run under more pressure. They squeeze the fuel-air mixture harder, which makes early ignition more likely. That is why those cars may need 89, 91, or 93. Higher octane helps the fuel stay stable until the engine is ready for it to burn. This is also where the wording on your fuel door matters. Recommended versus required. If premium is recommended, the car prefers it. You may get smoother performance, slightly better efficiency, and better protection against knocking, especially when the engine is working hard. But if you are stuck at a station and only 87 is available, one emergency fill-up usually is not the end of the world. A modern car can often adjust timing, pull back power a little, and protect itself long enough to get you moving. If premium is required, take that more seriously. That means the engine was designed around higher octane fuel. Put in 87 once because you have no choice? Use just enough to get where you need to go, drive gently, and refill with the right fuel soon. Keep using 87 because it is cheaper? Now, the engine has to keep working around fuel it was not built for. And that is what makes wrong octane sneaky. The car may start normally, it may drive normally. You may get home and think, okay, so that didn't matter, but under the hood, the engine may be pulling back performance to avoid knocking. You might feel weaker acceleration, rougher driving, worse fuel economy, or hear that sharp pinging sound when you press the gas. So yes, premium can be useful, but only when the engine can actually use it. In the right car, it helps the engine run the way it was designed to run. In a car built for regular, it is mostly just a pricier fill-up. And premium costs more for a simple reason. Raising octane takes extra refining and additives. You are paying for better knock resistance, not some universal upgrade. Before you think the only labels that matter are regular, mid-grade, premium, and diesel, there is one more pump label that can quietly mess people up: ethanol. E10 means the fuel contains up to 10% ethanol, and most modern gas cars handle it normally. E15 has a little more ethanol, and many newer cars can use it too, but it is still worth checking what your car allows. E85 is different. It is flex fuel, with a much higher ethanol content, and it only belongs in vehicles built for it. If your gas cap or owner's manual does not say flex fuel, do not treat E85 like cheap regular gas. Ethanol has real advantages. It has a high octane rating, can be made from crops like corn or sugarcane, can reduce some dependence on oil, and can look cheaper at the pump. But cheaper at the pump does not always mean cheaper on the road. Ethanol has less energy per gallon than gasoline, so your car usually will not go as far on the same amount. That is why E85 can look like a deal until the tank starts dropping faster. So whether the label says premium, diesel, or E85, the rule is the same. Use the fuel your car was built to use. Have you ever put in the wrong fuel, picked the wrong octane, or almost made that mistake at the pump? Tell me what happened in the comments. And if this video helped you avoid an expensive repair, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.